I'm not below compliments. That's what my mom always says. She's like, wants me to compliment her, and she's like, I'm not below compliments. I'm like, it's clear that you're not, because she's always soliciting.
She's an eternal optimist, and she's always leaving me messages, hooping and hollering and saying, whoop, life's just a bowl of cherries.
Judge exploded in rage after discovering Blake's mother, Eleanor Lively, was the real force behind the chaos.
But my mom, I think, is a very confident person, and so for me, yeah, I sort of like struggled with that because I've sometimes judged her for being so confident.
From fake PR emails to blackmailing crew members, she orchestrated every shady move against Justin Baldoni.
It's not for us to have shame. It's for them.
Her name is now tied to forged evidence, false witnesses, and a courtroom scandal bigger than anyone imagined. Blake Lively reportedly lost control in the courtroom after explosive documents exposed the one person she never expected to get caught, her own mother. Judge Lehman, who's been sitting through this celebrity circus from the start, was visibly disturbed, and you know it takes a lot to shake a judge who's seen it all. But apparently, the moment he saw the paperwork linking Eleanor Lively, Blake's sweet-seeming Smile On Magazine's mother, to the entire behind-the-scenes sabotage operation, his jaw hit the bench.
Which I think is like not fair, right?
Yeah, you're such a bad daughter.
Terrible daughter.
Blake Lively really stood on the Time 100 gala stage, dripping in designer fabric and delusion, pretending to be the voice of female resilience while her mother, the same woman allegedly blackmailing assistants and rigging PR campaigns, sat right there soaking up the applause. Give me a break.
She's an eternal optimist.
According to Blake, her mom is this eternal optimist who leaves cherry-coated voicemails and survived the worst crime someone can commit against a woman.
She wanted me to share with you that she is a survivor of the worst crime someone can commit against a woman.
And while no one's taking that away from her, here's where it gets uncomfortable. Blake is out here weaponizing that trauma for applause, while her mom is simultaneously being exposed in court as the alleged mastermind behind a defamation conspiracy.
I've watched her conceal her raw and undeserved shame my entire life.
She wants to talk about how we use our influence, while her own mother is accused of impersonating legal counsel, falsifying evidence, and even threatening production staff. I mean, imagine having the audacity to praise your mom for saving your life and then drag her straight into a courtroom scandal where she's reportedly tampering with witnesses and planting stories and gossip blogs. This isn't empowerment. It's emotional manipulation in a ball gown.
My mom never got justice from her work acquaintance who attempted to take her life when she was the mother of 3 young kids years before I was born. She has always credited her beating heart today with the story she heard from another woman in a similar circumstance.
Because get this, sources inside the courtroom are now saying Eleanor wasn't just tagging along for emotional support. No, she was right there, actively coaching her daughter through how to smear Justin Baldoni. And how? By pretending to be a media strategist? Yes, Eleanor was allegedly operating under some fake PR agency email, like this was some underground spy mission, not a court case involving real careers, reputations, and lives. And you'd think it couldn't get worse, right? Nope. That's when Brian Friedman stepped up and basically dropped the courtroom's mic. He suggested that if Blake wants to be the voice of truth, then great. Let's hold her deposition live at Madison Square Garden. Not in some back room, not hidden behind lawyers. Nope. Center stage, lights on, all eyes watching. And every dollar from the stream, he wants it donated to DV survivors. And suddenly, the woman who built a whole persona around female empowerment looked like she couldn't run faster from accountability if she tried. Now let's pause. Remember when Blake went on Seth Meyers' show like she was giving a TED Talk on suffering and survival? Well, surprise! The backlash was so brutal that Seth's team literally shut down the comments section. That's how radioactive Blake has become. And People magazine, her go-to soft launch machine, even had to backtrack and edit her fluff pieces. When your media darlings start hiding your name, you know you've seriously crashed the PR plane. But don't worry, because it gets worse. Let's talk about Eleanor Lively again. the real puppet master. This woman didn't just give Blake bad advice. She allegedly created an entire covert plan with a code name and everything. It's called Operation Redemption, and no, it's not a new Netflix thriller. It was her brilliant idea to leak these emotionally manipulative monologues to feminist blogs right before legal hearings, because nothing says truth and justice like crying on Tumblr to distract from your legal implosion. And let's not forget her tech skills, or her hired ones at least. Eleanor allegedly brought in a forensic consultant to manipulate metadata in rehearsal videos. That's right. She tried to edit the receipts so it looked like Justin Baldoni was doing something shady when he actually wasn't. The lengths these two went to? I mean, honestly, Blake and her mom might have put more effort into this than into actual acting lately. But wait, there's more. Court insiders are now saying that Eleanor went full gangster when a production assistant refused to lie under oath. What did she do? She allegedly blackmailed him. Yup, told him if he didn't cooperate, she'd expose unrelated immigration issues. What is this? Suits? The Revenge Edition? It's giving criminal, not concerned mother. And she didn't stop there. Because when the smearing of Baldoni wasn't enough, Eleanor reportedly impersonated a legal advisor and tried to reach out to Taylor Swift's team. Yes, Taylor Swift. Because apparently, Eleanor thought maybe if I can trick Taylor into backing Blake, people will stop noticing the lawsuit-shaped dumpster fire we're dealing with. You can't make this stuff up. Except, apparently, Blake and her mother did. Now, let's talk about Brian Friedman again. Because this man is not just handling the case, he's cooking. He came out and said, "You want truth? Great. Let's do it publicly. At Madison Square Garden. Live stream it, sell merch, donate everything to actual survivors." He literally turned Blake's performative, tear-soaked magazine tour into a punchline, and I applaud him. Honestly, he made her PR campaign look like a bad school play. And of course, Blake's team panicked. Her lawyer, Mike Gadel, rushed out a statement calling the MSG idea theatrical harassment. Theatrical? Girl, you filmed It Ends With Us. Don't act like you've suddenly developed a distaste for drama. You weren't calling it theatrical when you were dropping monologues into Variety and whispering trauma narratives into Vogue interviews. The public? We ate it up. Over 120,000 people said they'd pay to watch Blake get grilled by Friedman live on stage. People were crowdfunding mock tickets. I saw a TikTok of someone printing Deposition Tour 2025 t-shirts. You've officially become a parody of yourself when your courtroom meltdown becomes a fan event. So let's recap. Blake Lively marched into court thinking she was the protagonist of a legal drama. But the minute someone called her bluff, her entire fake empowerment campaign cracked in half. And then her mom got dragged into it and turned out to be worse than anyone imagined. Coaching her daughter through defamation, blackmailing staff, impersonating legal counsel. At this point, I wouldn't be shocked if Eleanor's next move is starting her own crisis PR firm called We Lie for Lively. This isn't just a fall from grace. It's a nosedive, sponsored by arrogance, powered by manipulation, and now fully televised thanks to Brian Friedman. And the worst part? Blake and Eleanor probably still think they're the victims. Like, sorry, you can't scream misogyny while hiring metadata hitmen, threatening assistants, and faking allyship for clout. Blake Lively allegedly blackmailing Taylor Swift is the kind of plot twist that even Netflix would reject for being too far-fetched. And yet, here we are. According to court filings and Puck News, Blake tried to pressure Taylor into offering public support during the lawsuit by threatening to leak a decade's worth of private texts. 10 years of private messages, let that sink in. Blake didn't just want a tweet of support. She basically told Taylor, "Help me or I detonate your personal life." Because nothing says empowered woman like holding your friend's secrets hostage. And guess where the information came from? Scott Swift himself. That's right. Taylor's own father reportedly handed over the timeline, screenshots, and receipts straight to Brian Friedman. Honestly, shout out to Scott for being the unexpected hero in this circus. While Blake was trying to manipulate the queen of calculated PR, Scott Swift stepped in and said, "Nope, not on my watch." Blake really underestimated the Swift family. Did she think Scott was just going to smile, wave, and let his daughter get dragged into her courtroom meltdown? Naturally, Taylor's circle went completely silent. No more Instagram likes, no subtle playlist clues, nothing. But insiders claim Taylor privately told friends, "I wish I'd never met her." That's Taylor-level heartbreak. You know how bad you have to mess up for Taylor Swift to wish she never met you? That's the kind of line that ends up in a Grammy-winning ballad and ruins your career faster than a live mic and a leaked voicemail. And it wasn't just Taylor. After the leak, Gigi Hadid, Cara Delevingne, and Sophie Turner all reportedly cut ties with Blake. In private, of course. Swifties are trained professionals. They didn't post a Notes app breakup letter or go live crying on TikTok. They just quietly ghosted her, which in celebrity terms is the equivalent of getting deleted from the guest list and the group chat. Blake went from brunch buddy to Hollywood leper in record time. Meanwhile, Taylor's PR team allegedly made it clear Blake was too unpredictable and reputationally dangerous to work with again, which is PR speak for, she's not just toxic, she's radioactive. Once your name ends up on the don't touch list of Taylor Nation, it's over. You're not just canceled, you're compost. And speaking of rot, let's talk about Blake's business empire, or what's left of it. Blake Brown, her once hyped beauty brand, dropped from a $100 million projected brand to under $15 million in sales for 2025. That's not a dip, that's a straight up free fall. It's like she base jumped off her own reputation without a parachute. And the reason? Not the lawsuit, not Justin Baldoni, but her alleged blackmail attempt against Taylor freaking Swift. Sales plummeted by 56% to 78%, according to Puck. And let's be clear, that's not bad luck. That's Swiftie revenge in action. No influencer campaign can recover from the moment Taylor Swift's fans collectively decide you don't deserve shelf space. You mess with the queen, you lose the kingdom. And then there's Betty Booze, Blake's other brand, reportedly being sold on Carnival Cruises, which is somehow both a metaphor and a business model. Even there, her product underperformed, which is saying a lot, considering cruise passengers are literally stuck on a floating bar. If people would rather sip Bud Light than your overpriced celebrity concoction, the brand is done. Insiders at Target called Blake's product line a non-conversation. That's brutal. That's the retail version of saying, her? We don't even acknowledge her anymore. It went from center display to back of the aisle clearance faster than you can say bad publicity. Retailers don't want to touch it, buyers aren't asking about it, and the only ones still using it are probably unaware it's hers. And it gets worse. PR sources say over 40 retailers quietly pulled support in Q1 2025 alone, all because of reputational risk linked to her uncontrolled legal behavior. That's right, not poor sales, not weak branding. Her legal drama was too messy to be associated with. Blake Lively didn't just tank her business, she weaponized her own court case and turned it into a sales repellent. Now, let's move on to the Celebrity Shield strategy, which was basically Blake's last desperate attempt to save face. She and her team tried to push for witness immunity for none other than Ryan Reynolds, despite the fact that he's literally named in Justin Baldoni's countersuit for defamation and PR sabotage. Make it make sense. You can't be both a neutral party and someone allegedly helping to destroy another man's reputation behind the scenes. But sure, let's pretend Ryan was just hanging around doing crossword puzzles while all this went down. And Brian Friedman wasn't having it. He came right out and accused Ryan of using Disney's resources, yes, Disney, to create a villainous character based on Baldoni. That character? Nice Pool from Ryan's 2022 Disney Plus film. A soft-spoken, manipulative antagonist designed to mock Justin. And somehow Disney funded it, distributed it, and let it stream to millions of people. If true, Ryan didn't just co-sign the smear campaign, he animated it. His face was used in promotional materials for It Ends With Us, even though he had zero involvement in the project. No cameo, no producer credit, nothing. So why was he there? Oh right, to fake some credibility. Slap Hugh's face on anything, and it gets a touch of class. Except this wasn't prestige. It was PR, smoke, and mirrors. the Blake Lively special. Let's not forget that Taylor Swift allegedly helped with early script rewrites too, which officially makes her a material witness, not just some celebrity name drop. You can't use someone to legitimize your script, then act shocked when they're dragged into the courtroom. That's not friendship, that's manipulation on high heels. And even Judge Lehman had enough. He reportedly questioned why Blake's team kept calling these celebrities irrelevant, when they were the ones name-dropping them all over press tours. Oh, the irony. You build a brand on famous friends, then play dumb when those same friends become legal liabilities. It's almost poetic, if it weren't so painfully pathetic. Blake Lively wanted to be seen as a warrior for women, a victim of injustice, a truth-teller fighting the system. Instead, she ended up a cautionary tale. She burned bridges, alienated allies, tanked her businesses, and dragged her own husband into a defamation case, all while allegedly blackmailing the most beloved pop star on the planet. Blake Lively's legal team promised a parade of witnesses. They swore there were multiple unnamed individuals just waiting to take the stand and unleash bombshells against Justin Baldoni. But here we are. It's June 2025, and not a single soul has stepped forward. Not one statement, not one deposition, nothing but dust and desperation. It's like Blake built her whole case on the ghosts of canceled careers, hoping sheer suspense would do what evidence couldn't. Let's talk about the cow comment, shall we? For weeks, Blake's team tried to make this one incident the crown jewel of their emotional abuse claims, claiming Justin body shamed her by calling her a cow. Except, plot twist, that line never came from Justin. Turns out, it was just a casual gym floor remark from a trainer about lifting safety before a stunt. You know, because lifting a human being requires you to know how much they weigh, so you don't snap your spine like a breadstick. But Blake's team took that basic safety check and spun it into a Shakespearean tragedy about body shaming and toxic masculinity. I mean, is this a courtroom or a bad YA novel? And when the court requested actual proof of any of these so-called hostile incidents, surveillance logs and set videos showed absolutely nothing. No yelling, no tension, no bad vibes. Just Blake walking around in full glam, probably rehearsing her next interview. And yet, her legal filings are dripping with vague language like felt targeted and unsure atmosphere. Ma'am, you're not describing a horror movie, you're in a court of law. Nobody's interested in your vibes. Legal critics are calling her entire strategy a case of Hollywood litigation theater. And honestly, that's generous. If this was a Netflix series, it would have been canceled after 2 episodes. There's no timestamps, no physical exhibits, no corroborating testimony, just hearsay wrapped in designer buzzwords. It's giving PR consultant with a script, not a survivor with a case. Speaking of PR disasters, let's bring in Stephanie Jones. Yes, the same PR agent who allegedly threatened YouTuber Katie with a cease and desist to stop her from reporting on the case. You heard that right. A publicist trying to sue someone for telling the public what's publicly happening in court. And the cherry on top? Stephanie's threat was reportedly based on lawsuits that didn't even end in her favor. She literally mischaracterized her own legal history to bully someone into silence. You can't make this up. And just when we thought the courtroom couldn't get more ridiculous, enter the amicus brief chaos. 3 advocacy organizations filed briefs supporting Blake, 2 months after the deadline. You'd think after spending years shaping public narratives, Blake and her PR team would know how a calendar works. But apparently not, because Friedman's team called the briefs what they are, a PR stunt disguised as legal aid. These weren't friends of the court, they were friends of Blake, trying to turn legal paperwork into a press release. And let's not pretend Stephanie Jones and Leslie Sloan are just innocent PR reps caught in the storm. These 2 are being accused of planting anonymous stories in gossip columns, then suing any journalist who refuses to play along. So basically, print my fiction or get a lawsuit. It's a mafia model, but instead of kneecaps, they go after your ad revenue. And remember, this whole PR machine from hell is what Blake tried to present as her support system. It's like forming a defense team out of tabloid editors and Instagram bots. Meanwhile, the legal battlefield is overflowing with 12 unresolved motions, including sanctions, subpoenas, dismissals, and even forensic phone data extractions. That's right, they had to forensically extract data from phones just to get to the truth. Because when you build a case on gossip, manipulation, and recycled trauma tropes, the truth doesn't just walk in, it has to be hunted down like a fugitive. And now, as the court braces for live depositions, the spotlight is shifting to someone who's managed to stay behind the curtain, Eleanor Lively. Reports suggest her fingerprints are all over sealed emails and hidden witness contacts. Yes, Blake's own mother might be directly linked to tampering, falsifying narratives, and planting smear campaigns. I mean, forget stage mom. We're talking about conspiracy queen. Brian Friedman is reportedly sitting on a digital vault of unedited receipts, surveillance footage, and metadata, all of which allegedly tie Eleanor and Blake together in what's being described as a coordinated defamation effort. That's not just shady, that's criminal. Imagine the legacy you leave behind being, helped your daughter defame someone with forged evidence and Instagram DMs. As if things weren't bad enough, retailers have cut Blake off completely. She's not just persona non grata in Hollywood, she's been quietly erased from store shelves. Business insiders confirm that over 40 retailers pulled out in early 2025. And now, even her closest friends have disappeared. Taylor's gone. Gigi's gone. Sophie, Kara, gone. It's like a celebrity rapture and Blake got left behind. Her marriage? Also allegedly on life support. Multiple sources are now reporting that Blake and Ryan Reynolds are under serious strain, with separation lawyers already on retainer. Imagine turning your entire life into a slow-motion train wreck and then dragging your husband, who was already being sued, down with you. Blake didn't just sink her ship, she set it on fire, handed out popcorn, and called it empowerment. And if all that wasn't enough, a courtroom source recently whispered, "This isn't Blake's fall from grace. This is a controlled demolition by her own family." That's brutal. That's not just a quote, that's a full-blown epitaph. We're not watching someone get unfairly targeted. We're watching someone self-destruct in HD, with her own mother lighting the fuse. And the million-dollar question now isn't, will Blake lose? That's inevitable. The real question is, will Eleanor Lively face charges? Because let's be honest, if impersonating legal counsel, tampering with testimony, and forging media manipulation strategies doesn't count as conspiracy and obstruction, then what does? So here we are. Blake Lively, once America's sweetheart, now a one-woman scandal factory, dragging her mother, her marriage, and her entire legacy into the fire just to keep a narrative alive. It's no longer about justice. It's about ego, control, and the illusion of celebrity immunity. And all of it is unraveling, one subpoena at a time. What do you think? Is this courage or just another Hollywood cover-up? Tell us in the comments, hit that subscribe button, and stay tuned for the next jaw-dropping update.